Hello, everyone. As you know, today is October 1st, and there are many people out there who decided that they're going to protest the bad governance in the country. But guess what? As usual, the illegitimate government of Tinubu is out there harassing protesters, using police on protesters, using thugs on protesters, using soldiers on protesters all across the country. The same Tinubu that spent so much of his time protesting against bad governance and against military rule today has rigged his way into office and is literally going after protesters, killing protesters. Sahara Reporters, in one of its reports, say Fearless in October, that's the title of the protest that citizens have come out to do today. It says Tinubu government unleashes soldiers to disrupt peaceful protests in Abuja. Sahara reporters at the scene saw that the protesters were dispersed at Utako near Arab Junction, where they had gathered wielding placards with inscriptions calling for reduction in the price of fuel, foodstuff, and school fees. A combined team of armed policemen and soldiers deployed by Bola Tinubu, Bola Tinubu-led government have fired tear gas canisters to disperse Nigerians who are protesting to demand good governance in Abuja, the nation's capital. Sahara reporters at the scene saw that the protesters were dispersed at Utako near Arab Junction, where they had gathered wielding placards with inscriptions calling for reduction in the price of fuel, foodstuff, and school fees. The police, in their numbers, have been trailing and hunting for the protesters and finally caught up with them as they opened tear gas canisters and violently dispersed them. Again and again and again and again, police and soldiers are repeatedly, as well as dogs, are repeatedly used against protesters. They bring them on to fight them, kill them sometimes, maim them, and do all sorts of things to them. These are the same people who are also suffering bad governance. And then the same police and soldiers will turn around and say to you that, oh, when they have problems, that citizens don't protest on their behalf. How will citizens protest on your behalf when every time that citizens come out to protest against the things that are wrong with this country, the same you are the ones who are deployed to go after them and do all sorts of things to them? But they forget that we all are suffering this suffering. But the thing is, there are people who have gone against Nigeria, killing Nigerians, maiming, killing, destroying properties, doing all sorts of things that are attacking the territorial integrity of our nation, but yet the soldiers are unable to go after them. Bello Truji is out there every day calling out, Tinubu, attacking everybody, attacking the military, daring the military, yet they do not. It is innocent citizens who go by the law, who follow the law, who are unarmed, that it seems that the Nigerian government at every time comes after. But guess what? I've said this before and I'm going to say it today again, and I will continue to say it. As long as you make peaceful protest impossible, the only thing that you end up doing is that you make violent riots possible. The people that you've denied them the opportunity to come out and peacefully tell you that they have a problem, some of them will take arms against you, and you will be the one asking for truce, like we see that has been happening. Yes, that has been happening. For most of the people that you see out there kidnapping, killing, maiming, bandits, whatever you call them, one way or the other, it's their way of protesting violently. And that's the reason why whenever you see people who go to meet them, sit down with them, talk to them, they always come back with, feeling some sort of sympathy for those people. Because at the end of the day, when those people talk, they also have their grievances against the state. And in a state where there is no justice, it seems as if more and more people are taking, justice into their hands. And today is October 1st. Instead of Tinubu, which is illegitimate government, to listen to people that even believe that he is the government. Because for one to protest to someone, that means you believe in the capacity of the person to be able to solve your problem, or you believe in the legitimacy of that person. And they're simply saying to you that come and solve their problem. But yet, people like Tinubu, who rigged their way into office, an illegitimate president, being in a place he's not supposed to be, who for many years walked on the streets, fighting for justice for the common man, today is the tyrant, the dictator that is out there, oppressing the people. They always think that the years will never end. We see the likes of Babangida. Where are they today? No problem. Sahara reporters at the scene saw that the protesters were dispersed at Tutakune Arab Junction, where they had gathered, wielding placards with inscriptions calling for the reduction in the price of fuel, foodstuff, and school fees. The police, in their numbers, had been trailing and hunting for the protesters and finally caught up with them at the open tear gas canister and violently dispersed them. The protesters took to their heels, running helter-skelter, leading to commotion and pandemonium in the area. Some of the protesters and passerbys who inhaled the fumes of tear gas were seen gasping for breath in the process. At the time of this report, the police are still patrolling the city in search of the protesters. Police are not patrolling cities in search of kidnappers. They are not in search of bandits. They are not in search of terrorists. They are not in search of the people who have made Abuja, unsafe. What they're in search of are peaceful protesters that are out here. In other places, we've seen where instead of military and instead of police, what they have used is is thugs that they have used to disperse the people. We've seen a situation. There's even a particular video that was shot by a media house. You could literally see that they were far away, as if they stayed so far away from that place, because according to the caption in that media that the media house put out, was that they said even media, they're going to attack media, that they don't want anyone to be on the streets. Interesting, right? Very, very interesting. I will say to you, silence is not an option. Keeping quiet and doing nothing will continue to mean that certain people will rule Nigeria the way they want and destroy Nigeria the way they want. And I've said this thing before. I've said, oh, God forbid, I should not pray bad prayer for Nigeria. It's not bad prayer. It's where we are heading to. If we don't take time, we're going to head all the way to where Haiti is, where Sudan is, and probably even worse. When the legitimacy of the government is gone, when people do no longer believe in justice, what they will do, they will capture their different places, and then we'll have warlords that will control different areas. And we wake up one day from being in a mansion, living a good life, to being on the line in an IDP camp, queuing for some food that looks at what you would not have fed your dog before. Yes, it can happen. And that's the reason why sitting down at home and praying that God will fix Nigeria, it's not going to work, because God has already given us everything for us to be a great nation. And God will not do for us what He has given us the capacity for us to do for ourselves. Thank you for watching. Bye.